Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and I'm in the mood to make some clusters today. So yes, it is March, and you know, Mixed Media March, and hosted by Ceri Griffiths. So I will make sure that I use a gel plate print on at least one of them, probably a lot of them, and then one of them at the end I will put on a card, I think, so that will be what it is. But first, I just kind of want to grab some scraps on my desk and make some clusters. Some of these are larger pieces. Doesn't mean I can't cut them down. So this is where, like, the box where all my cardstock scraps go. Well, the ones that I put in there. Can't say that they're all in there. And then I've also have some scraps just laying on my desk. So, you know, there's that. So I have some fun. Oh, that's just a bunch of little sticker numbers. That's what that was. Let's see. Alright, I try to not overthink things when possible. Apparently, it's not possible to not overthink things today, apparently. Alright, that could work with pretty much anything. And let's see, will it work with that? A little bit. So this is just a piece that was part of a gel plate print that's on some cardstock. So I'm just going to kind of tear off the white bits. Don't need those. So for clusters, I don't really mind if they have like a rough edge on all the sides except for one. Or, well, apparently I do care if it has the white on it. And some of them will be longer, some of them will be shorter. Do I like those? I don't like those greens together. How about here? Actually, this could work as a base fine, so I don't know why I'm looking at that one. Don't know why I started with that one. That one's cool too. Oh, see, this could be an edge. Not sure what he's doing. Like that. Some of the numbers just be kind of sticking out. Oh, except for that's the interesting side over here. Potentially. This is what I want to do, and I thought it was going to be easy because it's what I wanted to do, and now it's not. Because sometimes I make clusters and it probably looks really easy, and it's because it was what I was in the mood to do, and sometimes it just flows really well, and sometimes it doesn't. And both ways are okay. It's fine. It doesn't have to always go smoothly every time. It could just mean that maybe you need to do something else, or it could just mean you just need to focus a little more, or I don't know. I don't know what it means. It could just mean I need to not stress about it. Alright, I don't mind that. Alright. Or it could just mean I just need to, like, get my rhythm started. I just haven't gotten the groove yet. So then what I do is so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and I'm just making sure that my staple goes through all the pieces. You do not have to use a stapler. You do not have to have a tiny attacher. You can use any staple. You can use a brad. You can use glue. You can use two-sided tape. I don't know. Use whatever you want to use to stick them together so they don't fall apart. That's all. I mean, you can sew them too. Sometimes I do sew them. Let's see. We've got this from yesterday. Oh. Whoops. I think that sticking out of there would be nice. Okay, I think part of the problem with this one is that it's so white, so I'm going to use ink, and also inking is optional. If you like to ink things, ink them. You want to ink them before you staple it down. It's just a little bit easier that way, that's all. I'm going to grunge this piece up nicely. Of course, this is kind of a boring part, but you know. So with clusters, you just take in different layering pieces. I talk about layering pieces sometimes. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about layering pieces. I'm talking about pieces that can go on top of or underneath or whatever. It can just be 3 simple pieces like that, and you can add a focal point later. But you've got something started, and it's going to, you know, be helpful later on in life. You could add, and if you wanted to add a focal point on that to cover the staple, you totally could. I also have these little fun pieces, little Tim Holtz numbers and whatnot. Some of them I got on clearance, and that's like especially these plastic ones. And they're a little harder to use and stuff because, I don't know, they're plastic and I don't always like shiny plastic. But in clusters, they're great. I love to use them in clusters. Same with these and these little typewriter ones. So, you know, look for things when they go on clearance. Don't know why that one's in there. Let's see, we have a little yellow ticket. What do we have in here that could go with yellow? I think this is an actual vintage piece, not totally sure. And we have this little painty scrap piece. Do we want the yeah, we want the blue to show because there's blue on there, so why not? Let's see, just grab out a, ooh, this is a pretty piece here. Although I don't think we want to cover so much of it, so that will go with something else. Yeah, sometimes it's hard because you're like, oh, but it's so pretty. Oh yeah, I think a little piece of this might be. Is that the right color yellow? Do we care? Does it matter? I don't know. Or do we just want to use that and not do the other yellow piece? It's okay. We can change our mind. Don't need that hole. And then also, when I'm layering them, I try to vary the heights and whatnot. So I would not want everything to be to the left like that. I kind of want to, you know, have that poke out there in the back, and then have this one kind of be poke out there to the left like that. That's what I like. That kind of a deal. And then just make sure I'm getting all three pieces. A cluster is what, 2 or more pieces? I don't know. 3 pieces is a nice easy thing to do. Okay, see, sometimes things are just sitting here and make it helpful because you're like, that'll work. Let's see, what's this? A little bit of music. It's made to look vintage, but it's just not, but that's okay. A little bit of that. You could start from the bottom, you could start from the top. That all doesn't matter either. And there, that works. It gets a little easier after you start doing it. And then I forget to ink them as I'm making them, but that's okay. It'll go faster if I don't ink them. And then I can, you know, inking is absolutely optional. All right. We've got this piece here. We want something behind that that's going to be a little bit, oh, I do want to ink. When Tim Holtz, though, you just kind of, that's hard not to ink because it just always looks pretty good inked. So even if you're doing like a collaboration and it calls for like certain things, but you're in the mood to do something different, a little different, it's okay. Do the thing that you want to do. You can make it work. Like, I will make this work in the end. I will make a piece using one of these clusters if I can keep track of the time and not go over too much. I said I wasn't going to ink, and here I am inking. That's okay. So I actually, at some point on, well, it was a Facebook video, which will disappear after July 1st, I suppose. It was anatomy of a cluster. I think I did it on here too. I don't know if you can Google anatomy of a cluster. Alright, here's the thing. I want that dark part showing, so I'm just going to tear it so that dark part will poke out the edge from here. Relatively dark. It's not dark, it's just darker than the rest of it. To poke that out there. Do I want anything else in here? What was I saying? Oh, I don't know. Oh yeah, anatomy of a cluster. So if you're looking at your layers and whatnot, I want something solid between this bit here, like a circle would be good. So a color circle. So yeah, I'll have to find my piece that has the anatomy of a, that's a really cool piece. That's like a cleanup from a gel plate. We'll save that out. Maybe that's what we'll put our cluster on. we'll see. So that means I'm going to want a varying sizes of clusters. I don't want them to all be tiny. Not that it matters too much. What do I want? What's a good color in here? If I could find something with that kind of a blue in there, might be nice to bring it together. Or, hold on, let's see. I've got some other scraps over here. And I'm not afraid to put, oh, actually, alright, let's see. Is that the right, it's a close blue. How do I feel about it? I mean, I could do a little bit of, I'm okay with mixing plaids. Not everybody would do that, but I would. Alright, so I'm going to go that way, and then I think I'm going to go this way with this piece. And it just breaks up those numbers a little bit. And then I'll leave that on there, and if later on I want it not on there, I could just rip it off some if I want to. But so there's that little pop of blue at the bottom. I don't hate that. I really love this plaid. I got it really grungy. Love some grungy plaid. You will see that coming out. Alright, we've got these numbers right here. Let's see, this is day 7. If I'm remembering correctly. Could even just do these numbers on there like that. Maybe have it be not quite so wide. Maybe even have some of this in the background or in the foreground. We'll see where I like it better. I think I'll ink the middle piece. Let's see, we've got some yellow and some black, so that's good. Do we want a little bit of green in here? Or are we good with just that green? Let's see. Oops, we could. I liked that circle on there before, so let me find a good size. I think this 1 1/4 inch could work. To just kind of poke out somewhere, maybe not. If not, I mean, I still like that. Is still cute. I don't think that's not the right green anyway, is it? Or do we want a bigger circle? I don't know. That's 1 1/2. 1 3/4. What is this one? 2 1/2. You know, I'm thinking that might be a little big, but also I'm thinking, why not? Also I'm thinking, where'd that green piece go that I just, it's upside down. I can't see things when they're upside down. Ooh. Sometimes you just have to play with scale and see if there's something you like better. Alright, I think that could work. And I'm just going to, I think it'll be a little bit less, I'm going to do one down here. I mean, you can make the staple part of the design too. One up there. And there we go. We have a nice little cluster. You could put a focal point on that if you want to, but you've got a nice layered piece to go in the background. Oh, I don't know if you ever watched me make these papers, but these are fun to use in clusters and in layering pieces as well. I know you kind of don't want to cover too much of it. You can also add some fabric in your pieces. That is always a fun thing to do. You could add some stamped pieces, whether it be like the airmail kind of stamp or like a flower or whatever. Whatever stamps you, oh man, it's some dusty denim, isn't it? Whatever stamps you happen to have. Well, this would have been cute with that too. I don't need this whole piece. I just kind of want it in there somewhere. Ooh, maybe the letter could go this way or that way. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Going to use a smaller piece here, I think. Also, I'm going to make it thinner. Denim generally just goes good in one direction, not necessarily both directions. Depends on the grain of the denim. I think this was like, nope, it was just regular denim, not stretchy denim. I thought maybe it was stretchy. Let's see, anything else? We got this number 1. He was number 1. Let's just the number 1, I think. I think that'll work. I kind of like the denim kind of sticking out from the edge of the little number 1 tag. Like that. And we get a little doily from Ceri. Let's see if that will work on something. Alright, we can do a wider sort of. That's a little bit tall. We can cut off a piece of this. Keep wondering if I have it the right way or not because it's so light on that side. Alright. Oh, now I made it too short, but that's alright. I can just... it doesn't have to be too short. I can just... I'm just going to cut off this top part, and I just don't want those sticking out necessarily. But I like the little flower sticking out from there. I think I'm going to staple that and then might add another piece behind it. Maybe. My eyeballs aren't working at the moment. Nope. Alright, that can wait. That decision can wait. There's plenty of things in here to work on. Let's see, we've got tickets. Alright, let's try using a ticket on something. Kind of like that blue with that. And like that, and another piece in between. Maybe a piece of that. I think I kind of want the rib edge on that side. I think I got all pieces. Yep, they all, well, nope, I missed that one. That's okay. You know what you do? You just glue it in there. Or you can staple it in there. It doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters. Just go ahead and glue that. So if you struggle with clusters, what is it about clusters that you struggle with? Well, okay, that's how I had it. I was like, why is that upside down? It wasn't upside down a minute ago. You know what, we're just gonna put it over here because it'll just fit easier. Or is that how I had it? I don't know. That back piece is upside down, but that's okay. Or it can go this way. This is non-directional, so it really doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Alright, I kind of like those together. Make a little bit of a shorter one. You can have them be wonky, you can have them be straight, do what you like. You go a couple different directions with your, you could stick some cheesecloth in there, some lace. Everything and anything is potential cluster things, you know, things you can use for clusters. Or as some people would say, fodder. Yeah, I don't want to be annoyed if it's upside down again. It's okay if it's upside down, but I kind of didn't want it to be upside down. And I want that music like that, and I want that like that, I think. And then maybe bring a little bit of that. That can be glued on later. You can also, if your staple is going to show, and you want it to be a little bit decorative, you can make it a little X, and then it's really cute. And then I can do that down here too if I want to. Do another little X right there. It's a wonky X, but it's cute. How are we doing? Not too bad. I don't want my videos to be too long. All right, this is just a nice piece of plain coffee dyed, sort of plain piece. If you want to do it neutral, I'm not so great at neutral. Just be honest with you right there. I might start thinking, oh, I want to do neutral, and then next thing I know, it's not. Let's see. I'll do one of these with the don't want anything else in there. What do I have over here that might be neutral-ish? That might be a little overkill. See, look at that. We did a neutral piece. Now if we can, alright, my ink is right here. I was going to say, now if we can find the ink, then we can go ahead and ink it, which is nice. Neutral pieces, I think, look especially good inked. I think that these grungy number pieces came from TaylorMade Journals, but I'm not totally sure. I know I got some from her. She has a whole, like, she's got a set that has a lot of grungy numbers. Now, a lot of people like it straight, and that is a fine option, and so that's what it looks like if I do it straight. And some people like to do them a little bit more wonky, and see, I would still put one piece on there straight even if I was doing it wonky. There's not a wrong way to do it. You do it how it makes you happy. I'm pretty sure that Barbara 49 Dragonflies would totally do it straight. Not necessarily though, but you know, she'll probably be surprised that I'm doing it straight. Although sometimes people, they make it all crooked, and I'm like, I'm surprised. That surprises me. Nope, don't like those together. Let's see. What else have we got here? I really want to use this piece. And we've got that nice little blue ribbon coupon, and these numbers that clash a little bit. Actually, maybe that's what I don't like. They're not clash, but you know, they're not necessarily what you would expect. Alright, so if you get Tracy Fox's labels, she has a page that's like just black labels. So you can print out like one of your backgrounds and then print right over that with the labels, and that's how you get these kinds of labels with that interesting background. Or you can even print it on like scrapbook paper or whatever. Print it on whatever you want. What is this? That is purple. That is not what I want. This is, ooh, it's got all the colors in there. And we still have some of that showing in the background. Actually, I kind of like that. That's going to be it right there. There we go, cluster. And this is how I make them. I just put things together and hope for the best most of the time. I'm more likely to use this side. And what do we like with it? Could potentially have that if there's something else layered in between to break up the... They're similar size patterns. This is a little bit smaller than that one. So like a solid piece, or even a piece with writing. would be a good in-between piece for those. And let's see, we got pink and green. What might I also use on there potentially? Oh, those numbers I just used would have been good. I don't suppose I have anything else with that color. That green that I liked. Oh, we do have this label, which is similar green to that. I tend to not like those corners. I'm more likely to cut those off. I just prefer the look without them. That's all. Okay. And it's still, you know, you could put a focal point on there. I think I'll put that down there so that when I put a focal point on it. In fact, what if we, will that go with this? No, that does not go with that. Let's see, do any of these go with this? That's a little busy. We definitely need something a little less. I don't want to cover up too much of it, so maybe this is not the piece I want to use. It's just so cool. Sometimes the cleanup pieces are just really cool. Alright, let's see if we can make something on here. Alright, I need a number 7. This is for number 7, but that's alright. Let me see if I have a number 7 in here. Okay, found a couple 7s that could be good options. This blue is really close to that blue there. So I'm just going to, and that says 70. That has a 7 on it too. I mean, it's 70, but you know, still 87. Just realized these labels are from Louisa Heinzel in her Etsy shop. Alright, let me look through my focal points, because you know me, I'm going to want a focal point. Even if I'm doing a cluster on there, or just layering. Let's see, we've got, do we like him? We don't hate him. I mean, he's actually supposed to probably go like this though. Ooh, I like him. He won't take up too much of it either. See, I still want a lot of the background to show. So let's cluster him up and see what we like behind him. Those are two very different blues. Don't like those two blues together. Oh my goodness, my chair is like wheeling all over. We need a little pop of orange. We don't hate that, right? Alright, let's find a piece. Oh, look at that. That's like a big 7. Is it too big? No, we still have quite a bit showing back there. Alright. However, I gotta cut his beak before I forget. I don't want his, I wait, especially when there's like a tiny little beak end there. Also, it's really hard to, I don't think we're gonna be able to keep his little beak end necessarily. Maybe. It's such a tiny, I'm not worried about getting every little bit. There we go. I don't mind if it comes off the card just a little bit. As far as the cluster piece, I want something else that's gonna, Alright, we'll add top secret at the end if we like it or if we want it. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? More numbers? No, I don't want more numbers. Oh, what's in here? Got these little pieces in here that could be anything. We've got this color yellow back there. And I will ink that. Okay, be right back. Alright, I'm going to look at this a couple different ways to see how his face pops the best, like where his face ends up being. Also, because I'm putting this down here and then that hides that blue, and I still want that blue to be there, I think. And if it's not right next to each other, then you can't tell for sure that they're not exact, you know, that they're not quite as close as I'd like them to be color-wise, and I don't mind if that hangs off a little bit or that. Alright, so I'm going to staple this cluster once I know how I want it, and then go ahead and glue it all on here. I want to round my edges. You can do that. It's still a rectangle even if you round the edges. And so for this one, I want to round the edges. I'm just going to use the 1/4 inch. Just the little one. It just feels, for some reason the rounded edges just kind of feel a little cleaner, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. See, inking the edges is nice. I don't think this is super straight. That's okay. It's still, there we go, putting our cluster on there. You could glue it on, you could staple it on, you can attach things however you like to attach things. You could sew it on. You do you, boo. Just have to remember that this part here is coming off a little bit. Kind of like a tab. It's on cardstock, so that's fine. Oops. And my 7's going to pop up a little bit too. It's on a little bit heavier paper, but, and then if you want to, you can go ahead and glue down some of the pieces that are kind of flying away. But when you're making clusters, it's nice just to use the stapler because it gets it on there quickly and easily. And then you can glue down later when you're putting it on your page or on your card or whatever. So if layering things for journal cards is difficult for you, but you like to make clusters, we'll start with a cluster and make them bigger so that, you know, you have the option of then putting them. Now I want to put him like that because I don't want this little point poking out from his head. So I'm lining up his head so it kind of goes right at where those two meet. Don't know why, that's just what I like to do. Just one of my little quirks. And I will go through and show you all the clusters we made today. And here's my project for the, also I'm kind of lining up his tail on a line down there too. Alright, so there's that. Do you want to add anything else? I don't know if I do because I really like all this stuff happening over here and I did not want to cover too much of it. And that's why he's way over to the side, but it looks like, I don't know what it looks like in the back. It just kind of looks really cool. A little top secret underneath the, actually I might just have it be here off the side. And that brings the blue, blue, blue and gives us our triangle. And I am just going to staple that on there with a couple staples. There we go. There is my card for today, March 7th, and I will sign it. Not that I did anything special for that background, because like I said, it was a cleanup. Be right back. And if you're wondering where I got my enamel pans, it took me over a year to finally find one after I decided I wanted some. And I found them at an antique store. No, I found them at the flea market, actually. Cranberry Flea Market up in Massachusetts. So there's him. And here's our neutral one. And a longer one. And I might have to stamp those numbers again in that color because I like it. And some with the printed doily. That one it could use a focal point of some sort. And then we have that one. And that one. This was laying on my desk. That's how I decided I wanted to make clusters, because that was there. And that one. And that one. And that one. And this one. No, these two. Ha, there's two there. I'm thinking this would be fun on something like this. And then do we want a focal point of some sort on there? Because why not? We can make more than one. It's fine. It's fine. Focal points. Focal points are under here. Oh my goodness. Why? Why you want to... This is one of the backgrounds I made last week with the with the watercolor back. Is that one of the watercolor backgrounds from last week? I don't know. It might not be from last week. It might be from another time, but it's a watercolor background. See, if I do the bunny, it kind of brings in the yellow. Well, the yellow's back there too, but you know, I kind of like the bunny. The bunny, do we want a flower? I do have like some, that's orange, maybe yellow flowers. Maybe coming in from the back, maybe not. Not unless we got a darker background for the yellow flowers to pop from. Ooh. How about, this is Pussy Willows. And those are spring and he is spring. So that might be, I might do that. I think that'll be cute. That would be cute. You do whatever you like, whatever you want. Could do coffee too. I don't know. I like the bunny for spring. Could cut him out. Oh, come on, Darcy. This isn't so hard. Also, ducklings are spring. His legs are all bent up. This is why I wait to cut things out sometimes. Depends on which yellow I prefer. He's a little too bright, isn't he? He's so cute, though. I like how his head just like pops right there. I know, cute with grunge. Weird, isn't it? Nope, I'm totally putting it on there. Anything else? Do we want to make anything else? Do you want to see any more clusters made into tags? Alright, so that's how that one's going to be. Let's see. This one could just go on the edge of a page as it is. Or it could go on a tag. But maybe not today. I don't know. This has got a similar... Oh, let's put one on a... I haven't done anything like on a collage piece. Don't want pink on there. I mean, even just that, just sticking a flower on there makes it even cuter. Ooh. Brightens that piece up right there, too. So there's some ideas for focal points. You can just use one of your pictures. You can use him, and like that's got a flower there, but I wouldn't be opposed to adding more flowers to it. You could even have flowers poke out from behind on a cluster. They don't have to always be the focal point. They could come from behind and just kind of poke out somewhere. I gotta remember that for flowers, that's kind of a fun way to use some flowers. Trying to find. If I put that in there, which I still could, scissors would be nice. Scissors would be nice. I just need to cut that one off because it's in my way. I just kind of want that to poke out from there, I think. But I still want that. There we go. That'd be really cute on something. Alright, let's glue that in. Alright, so there's some ideas. Hopefully you got ideas. Hopefully you learned something if I was helpful. Hopefully I was helpful. That's if you struggle with clusters. If you have any questions about clusters, ask me. I will do the best I can. I just do what I like the look of. If it looks nice, I do it. That's what it amounts to. Alright, I hope you guys have a delightful day. Love you.